at the request of an old friend, Amanda Rivers, you've driven out to the old Amherst house to help Jefferson Montgomery in his safety inspection of the property, while at the same time looking into rumors of strange events going on at the ranch. You arrived before Jefferson, and you had some time to walk around the place and get the power turned back on and unload the car. Except for a nest of termites in a barn, a couple of rats in the basement, and a mangy dog spotted in the fields, you've been alone since your arrival. That kind of changed, though, when Duncan is getting the camera equipment setting up in the bedroom. He's got the cameras turned on. You've got one above the garage. You've got one looking down the street. You got one kind of looking toward the barn. You got one looking at the back alley, back of the house. And as you're looking at one, you look at the barn, you spot a woman in a long white flowing dress, reminding you of an older time emerging from the barn. There's a cloud of mist swirling around her feet as she walks toward the house. She moves out of the frame of one camera, but she never enters into the frame of the next. A few seconds pass and you realize she's gone. Even the low-clinging fog is gone. Or is it? The temperature drops quickly in the bedroom where you staged the monitoring equipment. You can see the steam from your breath as it's cooler in there. The steam coalesces in the air and mixes with a grayish cloud rising from the floor. Frost begins to form in the corner of the screens, the monitor screens. I am going to do my first GM intrusion of our campaign.
Oh.
So, Duncan, this is for you. All right. There are rats scurrying out from underneath the bed. If you are okay with me having the rats scurry out of the bed, they will come towards you. You're going to get 2 experience points, one for yourself, one you can give to anybody in the party that you would like, for any reason that you want, or you can try and avoid that by spending an experience point on your own, and that way this won't happen. Here's what's going to happen with the GM intrusion. It's basically the rats are going to get surprised. If you are okay with the GM intrusion, the rats get surprised. If not, they don't, and we resolve this as normal.
No, I think I'll accept that, and I'm just gonna call out, Mr. Teller, rats.
I think I was already shadowing you anyways.
Yeah. Roy Teller was in the back of the room. He was helping you set the equipment up when you're going through this. So as you shout out the rats. So first of all, Duncan, you can add 1 experience point to yourself. And who would you like to give the other experience point to?
I'm gonna have to send it to my main man, Mr. Teller.
Because he might need it in a second. Makes sense.
All right. That's ominous.
Okay. All right, Duncan, the rats scurry out of the shadow and immediately rush towards you. Okay. They try to get under your clothes. They try and start nipping at you. And I need you to make a level 4 defense roll. And this is going to be a speed defense as they start trying to nip and bite and claw at you. It's only a level 4 because there are so many rats swarming out. This is not 1 rat or 2 rats or 3 or 4. It looks like about a half dozen. And they're large, black, scaly tails, whiskers, long whiskers, and they're crawling all over you. So a level 4 speed defense would mean you have to roll a 12 or better on a d20. All right. And you made a 13. Perfect. That's exactly what you needed for that.
Ooh.
Okay. So the rats are scurrying all over the place and they start crawling up on you, but you're dancing around and you're flailing your arms trying to get those rats off you.
I figure I'd scurry at the table and like hop on it. Or sorry, not table, a chair. Like pull out the chair that I was on and kind of hop on it. So I'm more just kind of like batting down at them.
Cool. You're balanced on that chair. You're trying to swat them out. And I want to have everyone roll initiative. So these rats are really small and wiry, but they're not that big of a threat. So your goal is to try and roll better than a 3 on your initiative roll. And you could just roll a d20 on this one, or you could click on your character sheet and try and do it from there, whichever works best for you. Okay, Mr. Duncan has rolled an 8. He is going to go before the rats, as Tyrell has also rolled an 11. Amaya has rolled a 7. She'll also go before the rats.
Yep, there he goes. Oh, hey, I'm
18.
way up
Look at
there.
Oh,
that.
dang.
Roy Mustang.
Wow, cool. Everyone's doing really well here. So, Roy, you've got the 18. You got the high roll here. So tell me what you see. You see your boss being swarmed by these rats.
Oh boy,
This might be a good time to pull out your grenade.
there's many enemies, and that is a good sign to use a grenade. But the
Oh my
boss is
God.
also in the way, and I need him if I want a paycheck.
Your compassion is overwhelming.
Oh, I might love him more than that. We'll see.
Oh.
We've known each other for quite some time.
I was gonna say, it sounds like we're at least childhood friends. We all were there in the
Mhm.
tunnel that night.
You might have drifted away a little bit over as you got older, but at one point you guys were a group.
Doing the
Yeah.
canoe thing.
I don't really have anything to help you.
Long friendship will come to a short end.
I can.
So don't just think about what your equipment says you can do. Think about what you might do. You see your friend being attacked by rats. Perhaps using a shotgun or a grenade is not the best choice of options
I'm
there.
looking at one of my abilities. I don't think I have anything equipment wise either that it can help, but I can probably buy you a little bit of time. I'm just gonna holler as loud as I can, stomp, try and get the other two's attention, and I'm going to use my ability Rally to Me. I really need to think of what I'm going to tell you to make this work, though.
Okay, so
You
let's
do-
let's read what that says. Okay.
All right.
You want to read that out?
Yes, sir. You cry out, blow a battle horn, or otherwise signal to everyone within a very long range. So actually, you know what? I don't even need to stomp. Well, that's what the stomping and hollering is.
That's your battle cry.
That you require aid, and all allied creatures who respond by moving to within an immediate distance of you within the next few rounds gain one asset on any one attack or defense task within the next hour that you suggest, such as hold the gate, charge that group of orcs, or something similar. So, my words of wisdom to you are: don't let the rats bite you. It's very straightforward.
All right.
Other than that, I mean, I'm probably going to be like swatting at his legs too. Can't do too much.
Sounds good.
Don't think he wants me to beat him with a nightstick.
You could have beaten the rats with a nightstick.
All right, so you successfully rallied your team. Everyone has heard that.
I will spend my
And
2
that means
points.
anyone who is trying to avoid being bitten by the rats actually has an asset, which means they can reduce the difficulty of that test.
For the next hour.
Okay,
Hold on
and
to that.
Yeah, for the next hour. Okay, so next in our list would be Mr. Tyrell. So you are out in the other room.
All right, I am hustling to get to the action, and I see him being swarmed right now.
Yeah, so as you come into the room, so you're out in the hallway or on one of the bedrooms, but you hear Roy screaming and hollering and stomping his feet. And although it might be normal some days of the week, this probably seems out of place right now. So you come rushing in. You see Mr. Duncan has jumped up onto a chair, reminding you slightly of
Yeah.
Amaya in the basement earlier.
I've got my flashlight.
All right, so
And there are rats all
And-
around his legs and feet.
in one smooth movement, I am going to pull out my bow staff, and I am actually going to do a player intrusion.
All right. Tell me how you're going to do this.
Since there are a swarm, I'm going to try to focus in on what's going on, and I'm going to use what is called perfect setup. See, if you're fighting at least 3 foes and each one is staying in exactly the right spot for you, you can use a move you trained long ago, allowing you to attack all 3 in a single action. I have to make a separate attack roll for each foe. You remain limited by the amount of effort you can apply on one action.
All right. So you are going to make 3 attacks.
Mhm.
You're going to go after 3 different rats, and I need you to make a attack roll against them. The rats are kind of small, and with that, you are going to need to roll their defenses at level 3, which means you need to roll a 9 or higher to be able to strike them
Okay.
because of their speed and size. And they're
Um,
all over Duncan right now too. So
You can
Get close
apply
to you.
that asset
Ooh.
because it's attacking and defending.
And of course, I'm going to apply maximum effort.
that would
Maximum effort.
That's 1 asset.
One effort. So what is it down to 1 now?
and this is a speed attack for you, correct?
Give me a look on it.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, because of the asset, that reduces it to a level 2, and then the speed using effort is going to reduce it to level 1. So you need a 3 or better to be able to strike the first one. And you're making a separate attack roll for each one.
Ooh.
And an extra damage.
So you get 17 on that, gives you an extra point of damage on that. So what's your normal damage for your staff? 6.
Yep.
6.
And let's see.
All right. So you slam into that rat, and you hit it so hard that's climbing up Duncan's leg. Duncan, you're going to take 4 points of damage from the staff slamming into you, squishing the rat against you.
Ooh.
This is why I didn't want to hit you with a nightstick.
Okay. You have 2 more attacks. Tyrell, go ahead.
Good thing I didn't put effort into damage.
Hey, don't hit my boss. I'm just gonna look at you, just what are you doing?
Hold still. I got it.
No, you're hurting him.
17 again.
Oh,
17
God.
again. That's another
because
7.
you're getting out of here.
This is whack.
All right. And Duncan, Duncan, I'm going to have you make a speed defense now to try and avoid taking damage from this thing, because the first one caught you off guard, but now you know it's coming and you see him swinging that staff at you. You're trying to dance away from it. So go ahead and make a speed defense.
Just swinging like a madman.
Okay. And your speed defense is going to be against the level 5. So you need a 15 or better to avoid.
Okay. I don't get this rally to me because I was specifically on the rats, right?
No, you still get it as well.
I said because it's based on whatever I say.
Yeah.
So I said don't let the rats bite you. So it's more targeted towards that. It wasn't don't let Tyrell beat you with the stick.
I think I'll still allow that to use that if you want to use that asset for this.
Yeah. That last one crunched.
You are much more merciful than I am.
So do you want to go ahead and make your speed defense?
Yep.
And with the asset, that's going to be a level 4, so you know a 12 or better, unless you have something you want to use effort or something else against it.
Yep.
Oh no.
You have a 7. So there's another 4 points of damage from the rat striking you. And we're down
I'm not a rat!
And you are
Hang on, just one more.
My boss.
All right, Tyrell, seeing that you've smacked him twice with your staff, you realize that you can adjust the angle of your blow to strike downward. This would increase the difficulty for you by 1. So this would be a level 2 as opposed to a level 1, combining with the other things you're doing. Are you still using effort?
I'm kind of scared to.
I was gonna say, please don't quit hitting him.
So
I was much less concerned until somebody started actually hitting you.
So you no longer have your asset because the asset's only good for 1 roll within that 1 hour time frame. You no longer have the asset. So it's a 3 is the difficulty. If you're aiming for a downward strike, so you're not going to risk harming Duncan, that would raise the difficulty to a level 4.
Okay.
If you are using effort, that would reduce it back to a 3 for you.
Okay.
So
No assets. It's definitely not for the damage. Let's see how that goes. Yay.
Okay, 16.
All right.
But you are striking down at a different angle for it, trying to make sure that Duncan does not get hit the second time by your staff, or third time by your staff.
Third time.
Third time. And we have another dead rat going out there. And do me a favor and roll percentile die. If you get higher than 50%, that extra damage goes to the rat next to it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Woo!
All right. So we now have 4 of the rats. Of the 6 rats that were attacking Duncan, Tyrell has gone in there and has beat them with his staff. And anything happens to be within their vicinity, he beat as well.
Surprised.
But now there's only 2 rats left. And Duncan, what do you want to do?
I am just gonna look at Tyrell. Give him the eyes, just like. And then I am just gonna swing at the closest rats to me with
They are like climbing up and down your legs.
Okay.
Even though you're on the chair, they had already started climbing up you. So
okay.
it's starting to get a little slippery up there too because of squished rats.
Yeah, I just want to trying to think. I don't want to just squish them on my leg, but I'm just gonna try and yes, they're in my pants. I'm just gonna try and crush them.
All right, go ahead.
Is that just a might?
I think that would be, yes.
I hope you got an extra pair of britches, boss.
You use might on this one. You're just going to try and squish them.
Yeah.
That's a definite hit. It's 2 points of damage for the squishing it. You realize that 2 might not be enough. If you wish to apply effort to it, you could for the damage.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And I think normally we'd have you declare effort ahead of time, but because this is our first combat, we'll kind of budget around a little bit.
Okay.
We'll learn the rules eventually.
All right.
Yeah, I'll apply that effort.
Cool. So
really, because I'm desperate.
You're just pumped up right now, swatting it all over the place, and you smack this rat, and we are down to just 1 rat left. And Amaya. You hear the shouts and screams coming from the other rooms. It sounds like Duncan is being beat senseless by somebody. You're not quite sure how those rats are doing so much damage to him.
I'm so sorry. I had it together, and then you started talking about him getting beaten senseless again, and I just lost it. I'm so sorry. In that case, are the rats in his pants, or they're on him?
They are on him. The one that's left is on him.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her enter the room, look and go, eek a rat, and immediately use push. Let me have it say that. So she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, a rat!" and throw the rat out the window.
Okay. And cool. And you want to read what push does for you?
Okay. You use a telekinetic push, a creature or object in an immediate distance in any direction you wish. You must be able to see the target, which must be your size or smaller, must not be affixed to anything, must be within a short range, push is quick, and force is too crude to be manipulated. For example, you cannot use this ability to pull a lever or close a door.
Cool.
So I'm just going to yeet the rat.
Okay. And it is an intellect test on this one, so you're going to make an intellect roll. It is a tiny little rat. Your difficulty for this is just going to be, sorry about that. Your difficulty for this is going to be 3. You need a 9 or better on a D20 roll.
Okay.
And you do have an asset for me if you want it.
Yes, you do have an asset you could use to chase.
So that would be just 1 bonus.
That would give you 1. That would reduce from a 3 to a 2.
Difficult.
That would need a 6 or better.
Yeah, you can ignore the first one.
Hopefully I did that correctly.
It looks good.
Okay.
Yeetus, Chuck E. Cheeses.
Cool. Duncan, you're on the chair, and that force of that push just slams that rat off you. I need you to make another speed defense on here from that push, because it is kind of like a general like surge coming out of Amaya, and you just need a 9 or better. Its difficulty is 3 to see if you can stay on your chair or whether you're going to have an awkward sit down moment here.
I'm so
I'll
sorry.
catch you, boss.
Yes, me, Mr. Teller.
All right. Oh, cool. You made it.
On the button.
It pushes you over, and you feel you're about to fall off the chair, but you grab the back of the chair and manage to right yourself up. As the rat goes flying off you, slams into the wall, drops to the floor, and then scurries under the bed. And for the moment, you appear to be safe.
I'm still on the chair, just like.
Amaya,
Duncan,
as
not
you
Duncan.
are casting you're doing your push, your telekinetic push to throw the rat across the room, you are looking out the window. And at first you think maybe it's just a reflection, but no, there's a woman in the window watching you. And then she's
Aren't we
gone.
on the second floor?
You're on the first floor.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's far less scary.
Yeah, you're on the first floor, bedroom closest to the basement.
Okay. But that is far less intimidating than like the floating woman on the second floor. Not fun, but far less intimidating.
And that was the same woman we saw on my monitors.
I believe it was the same woman you saw on the monitor.
All right.
That was her. That was her title.
I signed up for things that go bump in the night. I did not sign up for rats. I don't do pest control.
The mist is fading from the room. There's still a frost clinging to the computer monitor, to the power, the light switches, the walls, even around the edge of the window. But as you're watching, it begins to fade and just drift away. The rats that have been killed are still there, scattered about the floor.
So Tyrell is just gonna look at my eyes. So I guess we're not really being discreet about our gifts now. That's a relief.
Roy is still trying to figure out what happened to that rat.
Yeah, I was going to say,
did
we all
not-
know each other, so there wouldn't be a need for them to be all clandestine, at least in the room right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm gonna look at Duncan's like, "You all right, boss? We need to look at your legs."
I was like, might need to look at my ribs where that rat bat hit me.
The rat.
Hey,
Smash the
better
splinter with a
a
staff.
bruise than rabies.
Did you hit him with a bat?
Twice.
No,
Twice.
it was a bow staff. And well,
Twice.
I saved him from rabies.
So
I still should get a shot though.
There's like that moment of just like, never mind.
I mean,
So, is there like a huge rodent population in town? Did she list that when we were looking at we're supposed to be coming out to this house, y'all?
that was not
Technically, everything was supposed to be up to code, like per the letter we got. So, I know Maya's definitely not happy.
Roy's gonna actually like duck and look under the bed and see if there's actually anywhere for these rats to have come from.
So Roy, you duck underneath the bed. You just get dropped down there, look underneath the bed, and underneath there, you don't see a rat, but you do see like half a sandwich squished over there, like in a brown paper wrapper around it, and it's definitely been chewed on by a person, but also there are lots of little small bites around it from where the rats have been chewing on it as well.
Okay, it could just be a rat problem. Also, would anybody like a sandwich?
no.
No?
Is
Okay,
it your
we'll throw it away with the
intention to
rats.
eat the rat sandwich?
No, I'm gonna throw it away with the rats. It's a joke. I'm not gonna feed anybody the rat sandwich.
she's just like, okay, like the look of just nodding to make sure we're all on the same page.
I feel like you have a low opinion of Roy.
No, it's more like she's very type A and you're very like chaotic, but everything gets done. And so she's curious, but like it's more like I don't understand how you work than it is like I don't like how you work, if that makes sense. So
Roy
she's
doesn't know
having a
how
hard
Roy
time.
works.
Yeah.
Don't worry too much about it. Duncan doesn't know how Roy works, but he does.
Things get
I put money and I stay alive.
As long as
It's
it
a very
works.
safe business. So Roy didn't see anything in the window, so he's just kind of like, he's like, okay, so we saw somebody in the camera earlier, then they weren't in the camera. We haven't seen them since.
I'm pretty sure I just saw her out the window. But that could just be the trauma from all the rats. She
Do
says,
you
like throwing her hands down in disgust at the idea of more rats.
Ghosts okay, rats not. We're gonna put that aside for your own therapist later.
you can talk to ghosts. Can't talk to a rat.
Also, when's the last time a ghost carried the Black Plague? One of these two things is far more terrifying than the other.
I'm sure there is some plague-ridden poltergeist somewhere in history that I can point to. But do we know anything about, like, I wish we could make a run back to town. I want to go to, like, the local library to look at the history of this place. Because we might need to find out who that gal is. That might be useful.
I have a smartphone, and I'm
I got-
almost positive I have a laptop too, but I know I have a smartphone.
I do too. I just much love the paper records.
Yep. And there is a computer in the den/study as well, kind of an old computer.
Roy knows
Tyrell
this is all an option. He really just wanted to go to the library.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Tyrell could go
thought
to
you
the
had
computer.
something specific you wanted to Google.
Nope.
You could see the old AOL dial-up. See how that's working.
Oh God, not dial-up.
We just don't have the Wi-Fi password now.
Yeah. So Tyrell, you're going to go and check the computer?
Yes, indeedy.
Okay. And just as something to keep in mind is that you do have recovery. Recovery is something you can use any point in time. The first time you use it, it only takes like a couple seconds to recover some stats, and then 10 minutes, and then an hour, then 10 hours. It gets a little bit longer. So.
Yeah, I would like to take a quick rest. Have a little cracker.
Yeah, the first one's like you just like, oh yeah, you like brush it off. It's pretty easy for you. Well, that's a nice one. You recover
That is
6 points.
nice.
All right, so that puts you pretty close to back up to almost maximum, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Two,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
don't worry, the cracker helped. Yeah.
And the other one that Tyrell, you used a little bit of effort there. So I don't know if you want to use take a recovery action or not.
Sure, it won't hurt.
So that's 3 points for you. All right. So Tyrell, you're heading into the den area, and this again, the den is a couple kind of old sofas are in here, bookcases, couple bookcases, 3 bookcases are like floor to ceiling, lots of VCR tapes, videotapes, lots of books in here, crazy little knickknacks all over the place. But there's a desk, and on the desk is the computer. You go over there and you pull out a chair and you sit down next to the computer and you turn it on. And it takes a little bit of time to come on. Okay.
He's already annoyed.
You're looking at this and you can see like it still has like a 3.5 inch drive slot on it. Not a 5 1/4, but it's still a 3.5 drive on it. And as it boots up, you're looking around the area. And I think this is where you notice the business card.
He's going to pick it up and examine the business card.
It looks like at one point it might have been tucked into, like, you know how like sometimes you just tuck something into the top of your keyboard just so you can see it. It looks like it might have been
Yep.
stuck there, but kind of fell behind the keyboard. So just by when you move the keyboard around, it comes up. You find it, and what you find is a business card for somebody called Clarice Winterbourne, and it says communication specialist. That by itself isn't all that remarkable. What you do seem is interesting, though, is uh, on the front of it is the image of a crystal ball, smoke-filled crystal ball, and that's what it has. Communication specialist is right across the crystal ball. On the back of the card, as you turn it over, you see there is a date and a time written on the back.
Hmm.
The date's a little less than a month before Wallace died. It's December 29th.
Sorry, I'm writing this down.
Of what year?
Last year.
The current year.
Yeah, we'll go with at least for now. We're at current time and date.
Okay.
That could change as we move forward. Real time is not going to stay the same, but for today, we'll say we're pretty close to the same.
So he kind of looks at this like, interesting, and he's going to like tuck it away somewhere safe that he can like show the others.
Okay, and
Wow.
it does have her phone number, and it has an email address on there as well. That's on the front. It takes probably about 2 or 3 minutes before this computer boots up, but eventually it does.
Okay.
And there is no password on it. It comes up, and you're at like a Windows prompt that pops up onto it, and it doesn't look like he's updated the OS in forever. There's a clutter on the desktop of like all these different icons and just different apps that are all open up there, and they're like links to like silver prices and links to like Westerns and like all this crazy stuff on there. But you do see one that says email.
Email. Going to double click because I'm nosy.
Okay. Yep. You double click on the email and it starts downloading tons and tons of email. So, and the little spam bots email come up there. You might, we regret to inform you of the loss of your distant relative in Nigeria, but on the bright side, if you respond to this, you will be a millionaire because we have all of his funds ready to deliver to you. All you need to do is give us your bank account so we can transfer that money.
Oh, can't pass that up.
And you see a lot of different spam emails come up there. Their process.
Right.
And again, it takes like a minute or two before they scan through, and then you have the email up and it's there.
Okay, cool. And while that's happening, he's also going to like click the exit button on each pop up. He goes, pew, 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 pew.
So Tyrell, as you're looking through everything, you spot an email from the same person you saw the business card. And when you click on it to look at it, it's just a simple message. And it was wonderful meeting you. I'm so glad everything worked out. If I could be of any further assistance, please don't hesitate to call.
He should have taken her up on that. And how long ago was this?
The date on the email was January 2nd.
Okay. He's gonna look back and he's gonna call for anyone that was in earshot, like, "Hey guys, I think I found something."
I'm just kind of shadowing Duncan right now, and I'm guessing you're researching as well now too.
Yeah.
I want to go look at what he sees, but I also don't want to leave Duncan alone.
I don't think I'd want to be.
Let's switch gears for a second. Tyrell has gone off into the den to pull the computer up. That's taken him a few minutes. So Duncan and Amaya and Roy, what do you want to do in that period of time?
I'm gonna be looking at the monitors to see if I can see that woman again, because she was in the window by me, and I'm just trying to like see if I can glean any more sighting.
So are you looking like using the camera controls to kind of pan the area to see if you see anything out there, or are you going back and looking at the recording that you took?
Oh, I assume that it was like live feed, but recording makes way more sense. I do want to go back.
I assume that you're a security specialist and you're recording
Yeah.
everything that goes on there.
Yeah, I want to go back to when we first saw that person come from the barn.
Okay. You go back and scan through that section, and as you do, you're looking at the recording. There is, to the point that you're looking at the front of the barn, everything looks normal, and you see this staticky haze that appears at the entrance to the barn, and it moves across the frame and then vanishes out of sight. Never quite takes on the appearance of a person, but it blocks out a section of the camera that you would associate with like the shape of a person, size of a person. And it's very localized.
Like, I guess not static, but just a void of.
It almost is like a little bit of static. Uh, think of like that part of the screen is turned white, and there's black and white streaks, almost like lightning flashing through it, giving you that static approach to it.
I'm gonna call Mr. Teller. Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Roy's gonna lean in real close, look, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm absolutely seeing that. Cameras don't normally do that."
Not the ones I pay for. Maybe you see what.
These feel good.
I didn't even think about this. Let's go see what Tyrell is hollering about.
Okay.
All right.
And Amaya, what about you?
Just for dramatic effect, I want her to be pulling out her gun and like loading bullets into a magazine, like mumbling about rats. I came out here to make sure there was no spiritual interference, and now all of a sudden I gotta deal with critters and varmints, and I don't deal with rats, and I don't understand why she had me come out here in my good boots to stomp on rats.